Industry losing a legend and a pioneer. Ted Turner, the founder of CNN, has passed away. He was 87 years old. When Fox News founder Rupert Murdoch launched this channel back in 1996 as a direct competitor to CNN, Ted Turner said he was, quote, looking forward to squishing Rupert like a bug. Now, that obviously didn't happen. Mr. Murdoch issued this statement today. Ted Turner's vision for 24-hour cable news transformed the media industry and gave viewers everywhere a front row seat to witness history unfold. His impact as a trailblazer has left an indelible mark on our cultural landscape. He was a great American and a friend. And now, this look back at Turner's life and legacy.
Ted Turner was born to be an entrepreneur. At the age of 9, he was earning money cutting grass around billboards owned by the family advertising company. At just 24, he was handed the reins of the business when his alcoholic father killed himself. While his dad had sometimes been abusive, he was a huge influence in Turner's life.
He wanted me to be a big success, and all my life I've tried to be a big success.
Whatever he tried, it seemed, Turner couldn't lose. He first achieved big-time success when he bought a second-rate television station in Atlanta and put it up on a satellite. The first so-called superstation was born, an enterprise that would eventually grow into Turner Broadcasting. He bought the Atlanta Braves, turning them into a national sensation, and a year later won the America's Cup yachting race. But what really put Turner on the map was when he launched 24-hour cable news on June 1st, 1980.
This is CNN.
I was the first global broadcaster. CNN was the first global network.
CNN changed the face of television and the way Americans got their news. But Turner's visionary business sense was often overwhelmed by his personal life and his politics.
I was raised in a home where my father was so far to the right that he thought that Roosevelt and Truman were communists.
He called himself a progressive, not a liberal, though his 1991 marriage to Jane Fonda appeared to seal his far-left credentials.
I'm not apologizing for my political views. I've come to them after a lot of careful thought and study and research.
And it was clear those politics had coattails when his son Teddy ran as a Republican in South Carolina.
They hear the name, they assume, and they also assume, unfortunately, that I'm a liberal.
Turner also frequently made headlines for his absolute inability to self-censor, offending many groups, earning him the nickname the Mouth of the South.
Italians. Imagine the Italians at war. I mean, they'd rather be involved in crime and just making some wine and having a good time.
Through the 1980s and 90s, Turner's business enterprises were flying high. Turner Broadcasting merged with Time Warner. He had enough net worth to donate $1 billion to his beloved United Nations, and at one point even thought about paying dues the U.S. owed to the world body.
Thought about buying the UN debt at a discount and then going to Jesse Helms and say, pay me or I'll sue you. See, the UN's too nice.
But in 2001, things began to unravel for Turner. After 10 years of marriage, Jane Fonda filed for divorce.
It's impossible to really be with Ted the way he needs someone to be with him and have any kind of life of your own.
Then the merger between Time Warner and AOL went south when the dot-com bubble burst. Turner was ousted from the company and watched $7 billion of his net worth evaporate. He survived the firing and the freefall, focusing on business ventures like his restaurant chain, energy alternatives, and environmentalism.
I'm working now to try and help save the world.
A signatory to the Giving Pledge, much of Turner's fortune, estimated at $2.2 billion, will go to charity. He was also the largest private landowner in America and leaves behind more than 2 million acres for conservation. In September 2018, Turner announced in an interview with CBS This Morning that he was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, a progressive brain disorder.
It's a mild case of what people have as Alzheimer's. It's similar to that, but not nearly as bad. Alzheimer's is fatal. Thank goodness that I don't have that.
Turner's mantra, handed down from his father, was to set goals so high that they could never possibly be achieved in a lifetime, and to give help where help is needed most.
Ted Turner, dead at the age of 87. We'll be back.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.